Heidi ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert of Philbo Entertainment Promotions. As you know, it's Tuesday night, and we have our guest tonight to preview the solicitations in the Philviews catalog. Um, we have grown quite a bit in 4 months, and we are actually going on our sixth catalog, which will launch for February. And we're really excited. Um, we have some great publishers with us, and tonight we have someone who I think is just as driven as myself, which is a rarity that I see. This dude is a grinder, a hustler, in a good way. He works hard. Um, and I'm going to tell you this right now. And this is me being as honest as I always am. I found his book interesting in its title alone and intriguing, but I did not know what to expect. So I read Bigfoot Knows Karate. And I have to tell you, it's a well written book. It is not what I expected, and it's really worth the read. And I look forward to seeing where it goes. And it's probably the one of the most perfect testimonies to what indie comics can do. Outside the box, a little wonky in a good way, where it still makes sense. It's still entertaining, and it's refreshing and it's new. So I just want to put that out there. I know he did not put money in my bank account to say that. What's up, Chris? What's going on? So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the creator of Bigfoot Knows Karate, who is also part of the Homebrewed Comics collective. Great group of guys that are really dedicated to comics, love what they're doing, very passionate, and they deserve your attention because they're doing different things with the books and exciting things. So without further ado, Dan Price.
That was quite the introduction, Phil. Thank you so much. And I'm so
What's
glad you
going on?
enjoyed the book, man. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Good. And yeah, it's sincere. Everybody who knows me knows I can't push something that I'm not, behind. I won't disparage anything. I won't say anything bad, but I'm not going to go out of my way to say how good something was if it wasn't worth it. So
Oh, I
I was very,
appreciate
very
it.
pleasantly surprised, man. It was really good.
It's one of those titles that makes you think it's going to be one thing, and we take a hard turn, Casey Allen and I, with the story in terms of what the expectation of it's supposed to be, and really try and blow that out of the water.
Yeah, it was it was deeper than you would think, and it was
Hmm.
philosophical, and it was just interesting, and it was entertaining, and yeah, man, it's a good book, and I hope uh people don't stigmatize the book because it has a quirky title.
Yeah.
Um, but when you peel back the layers and you really give this book a chance, it's really good. It's really well written. So, tell us about you. Tell us about your journey into becoming part of Homebrewed, and then let's hear about Bigfoot Knows Karate. And then if you can share it on
Sure.
screen, because StreamYard is giving me trouble.
No, no worries. You said you want me to share my screen now?
If you could share the catalog, yeah, that'd be great.
Share the catalog. Okay, hold on.
And
And
we'll pull up your book.
we're going up to the first issue.
Yeah, we'll start with the first issue. And we're
Okay,
also
cool.
at after we talk about Bigfoot Knows Karate, we are going to talk about Caspian Porter and Crit, which are also cool books that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. And I've got those up here for sure. So, okay. So while we're doing that, I'm getting this together. Yeah, no. I came into comics back all the way back in 2007 and was hold on, let me just get the share ready. Here we go. Sorry about this, everyone. All right, there we go. Can you see my screen, Phil?
It just popped up. Yeah, here we go. Okay, you're going to have to
All right.
navigate this though. But this was our very first catalog. We launched July 1st, and it wound up arriving in stores in October. And let us tell us about you again and your journey with Homebrewed, and then we'll get into the book.
Sure. By the way, Chris, Dennis, good to see y'all in here, guys. Thank you so much for jumping in. Yeah, so I got into comics in 2007. My very first title was called Latex Avenger. It was he had a sidekick, spermicidal foam lad, and together they repelled crime 99.9% of the time. That was the intro title into comics. It was like Family Guy on steroids turned up to 11. And he was a bonehead meathead of a hero who was just looking for the spotlight and, and that kind of thing. It was a lot of quirky characters. I bring it up because, like, I did a couple of books within that universe. And the third title that was going to be in that universe was going to be a quirky book called Bigfoot Knows Karate. And this was around 2012, 2014, where I was started toying with this idea. But I was already starting to make my way out of comics as my stepkids had, my wife and I had moved in together, and my stepkids was raising them up. So I was kind of taking a break from comics at this time. And but I had come up with this idea for this Bigfoot that does karate, and it was kind of like a Kane Kung Fu, the TV show Kung Fu, that Kane like journey.
Yeah,
And he ends up in like a suburb of Dallas, and it was just real. And going to junior college, it wasn't good. It wasn't funny. The only good part about it was the title. So I pinned that up to my pin board over here, and I kept it. And it sat there on the wall for like 4 or 5 years. And like in 2017, I came back to it and started drawing the character again. And
good.
and he started looking different. He had these warrior expression and these gaunt eyes, like he hadn't slept in years. And, just this whole thing, about if you were the only one of your kind, the only one of your species, and nobody knew you existed and nobody cared, what would that do to your soul and your psyche? And by the way, you're 10 foot tall and you know martial arts and you're covered in fur. That was kind of like the impetus of the story. And it was around the time that I was starting to put like a proof of concept together for Casey Allen to take a look at. That's my co-writer on the series. That I was really starting to get more busy on Instagram, posting stuff around 2017, sort of showing the character on Instagram, and just little snippets, little, not stories, or anything like that, just the sketches. But around 2020, I started putting together the proof of concept, and that's when I met all the guys in Homebrewed in one form or fashion. We had just become admirers of each other's stuff. Crit is a hoot, man. I mean, that book is hilarious. If y'all have never read Crit, it's like the other guys or Guardians of the Galaxy or like Police Academy, action comedy with, that's based on, a D&D campaign. That's so everything's done on the roll of a dice. That's such a fascinating concept to me. And
Exactly.
yeah, and somebody who does not play in D&D like me, it actually it makes sense to me still. I don't miss a beat. So I've been a fan of that book, Celestial Night, Dennis Valencia's book. And I'm a big fan of Dennis's work overall because I'd seen him on other doing covers and things for other people, and he's just done so many amazing Bigfoot Knows Karate pieces for me. It's I can't even count them all, and we just all became friends. We all just became friends, and even Chris and I did a live launch together for our Kickstarter campaigns. We both knew we could get traction by ourselves, but we could be stronger together. And that's kind of what, we both dug each other's marketing minds, and how we saw, how to pitch a book. And I think that was like a big thing for why Chris and I became, friends. And not that he's not a nice guy, but I mean, one hell of a businessman too. So it was, hey, what's going on, man? You try. There you go. Right on. He does great. So yeah, that's kind of how we all came together. Initially, they were doing their own thing, in a collective, and I was doing my own thing over here, and then with lesser known comics. But it was awesome when Homebrewed actually formed up. Homebrew Comics, the organization it is now, actually formed together because the idea was, and there it is, thank you, stronger together. That was exactly what I was about to say, Dennis.
You're like
um
the Voltron of comic publishing.
we there you go. I mean, and when somebody else used that expression, I think Jeff Haas used that expression about us, that we Voltron together. And it's true. Everybody has their own role in a Homebrewed, whether it's social media and community outreach for Dennis, or marketing stuff for me, or digital for Drew. And and everything else to Chris. He's El Presidente. So it's like, so he's got the burden. Sorry, Chris, it's true. But yeah, I mean, everybody's doing everything we can, and it's a good feeling knowing that you got like-minded, business-minded, people that are working together, and
Well,
which is, go ahead.
sorry, and that's the thing, right? Chris, I met Chris at New York Comic Con the prior year, but I'd known him, vaguely on Facebook. Um, but he had reached out to me, and then you shortly came on board about the distribution. You guys were some of the first people to come on, and I will say this: from day one, you guys have understood that as much as we love doing this, it's still a business, and you have to manage it, and you have to handle it, and you have to put the work in, and you have to grind, and you have to market, and you have to do what you have to do. And you guys had your press release, and you know you're putting the work in, which is, it's just going to continue to grow and get stronger and show more, because you have the passion of a fanboy, but you have the professional dedication of a business person. And I think those are the keys to success. And I think you guys are going to do that. So, you're going to be very successul.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I mean, seriously, we're
And you haven't
trying.
aggravated me once.
Hey, hey, hear that, boys? We're doing all right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
That's an inside joke because of a few issues. I go on my little angry Irishman rants sometimes. So, but none of them have ever been about homebrewed. So.
Hey, I'm going to give all that over to Chris and Drew and those guys, because they're far more involved in this side of it all than I am. I mean, I'm literally like
Drew is
over
like
here doing other things. Yeah, so I'm like,
Drew's
what's
in that
this? Oh, yeah.
Facebook group, and he's like, "All right, I'm out of here." Oh
Oh
shit.
man, there's a lot of activity going on in there, y'all. Just FYI,
Yeah, and
I mean, so
look, I'm a passionate dude. When I love you, I love with everything I got. When I got your back, I got your back. And boy, when you piss me off.
no, no,
Anyway,
right on,
sorry,
dude.
we're off
Yeah,
track. Yeah, just a little
no,
levity for
it's
the
cool.
moment. So,
All
all right, tell
good.
us about Bigfoot Knows Karate.
Sure. Yeah, it's the tale of a gentle yet deadly cryptid warrior being hunted down by a nefarious cabal for mysterious means and forced to do battle with Cthulhu, or as we call him, Kung Fu Thulu, in the
Mhm.
ultimate monster showdown. But think Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist of X Files, and that's just issue one. We go further off the rails from there.
But
If you're
I do want to
into,
say this. I'm
oh, go
sorry to
ahead.
cut you short. I
Yeah.
don't I want people to understand, though, as fun and goofy as that concept sounds, this book is actually written deeper than that. Like it's really, like he mentioned kung fu before. There's that kind of maturity aspect to it as well. So I want you to people to understand they can read this book and get that fun, the kaiju fights and all that stuff. But there's also a little bit of a deeper part to it that I found even more interesting and surprising. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want people to know that
No,
this
I
isn't some
appreciate
goofy,
you.
book.
Yeah, no, it's no, I appreciate that, because there is a lot of philosophy in this book. There is a
Yeah.
lot of inner thought, a lot of questions about who this Bigfoot is, what his role is in the world, how he, you know, the dejection of society, taking care of the little guy. In the first issue, these are just little themes that happen. There's symbology throughout the book. If you're paying attention, there's so much symbolism happening within the book, and there's breadcrumbs being laid down for things that won't happen for issues, maybe arcs later. But we're already laying down the foundation for the story, because there's so many great different ways we can take it. I mean, it's a Bigfoot. And if you know anything about Bigfoot, which I mean, come on, but at the same time, through the research I've done, in fact, I was just talking to the guys from the Bigfoot Club podcast. I was on their show. They said there's two schools of thought on Bigfoot. There's the flesh and blood, and then there's the woo. Okay, and the woo are the people who believe that Bigfoot is like into astral projection and has powers and can move through, through space and things like that. That's where, I didn't know what the woo was, a few years ago when we were conceiving this, but having that conversation with them here recently, that was so enlightening to know that, I picked up stuff from different pieces of, research that I did watching documentaries and stuff like that. But to know that we're kind of on the right track with where Bigfoot is, but taking it into a different direction all at the same time, it's pretty cool. Um, there's so many directions we can take this. I mean, we did a prequel book, Hinagon, that'll be coming up in distribution, a little down the road. And that takes place in feudal Japan, while the main storyline in this book takes place in modern time, but it's the same character. So, like I said, we can go so many different directions with this. It's so exciting. And yes, we do have a Cthulhu in the first issue. We also have a Chupacabra with a shotgun in the second issue, and that book's available in Philbos right now for the October January catalog. Um, you know, I'm just excited, Casey. We're excited. We're writing another issue right now that we want to have done by the end of the month, and this is the most fun I've ever had making an indie comic. Period. End of story. Is doing this title, Phil.
There's also allegories too, that we can all relate to. Feelings of isolation, loneliness. What is our place in the world? What are
Sure.
we here for? Are we meant for something greater, or what is? There's a lot of great things that a reader can take away from this on the serious side, and then there's just the all out fun action. There's a lot of fighting in the book, and there's a lot of action, and there's some humor. So it's a little bit of everything. I really was, and again, it's not like I looked at it and scoffed at it, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was even more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean, we sold the book when we were like initially launching this thing, as just like a fist fight because we didn't want anybody to know what it was. Not yet. Once you get into the book and you read through the end and you get through that first twist and second twist, there's a couple of them in that first
Right.
issue. And once you get through the end of the big fight and into the next thing, it really turns the entire series on its ear, and that's what we were really trying to do. I loved the series Lost. Maybe not all of the seasons, but the way it was written, the way that
Right.
it had people, the questions, breadcrumbs here and there, and eventually they would weave it all together. Well, they tried. And that is the storytelling kind of dynamic that Casey and I are trying to bring to this book, but we also want to do it in Seinfeld scenes. We talk about Seinfeld scenes a lot. Get in, get your point in, and get out, and go to the next scene. And I mean, sure, there's storytelling that needs to happen through that, but there's so much stuff that we have to encapsulate into an issue. And our issues run long in comparison to other issues that are other
Sure.
comic series that are out there. First issue was 30 pages. The second issue is 36. So we're bringing a bit more of a beefy story into the in terms of length, and I hope in terms of the actual presentation of the book, that the story and the art are worked together in tandem, and that we can that we're bringing a good product to the table, basically, or to the shelves. um yeah, but it's I don't know, trying to weave the story together and make it work and keep the questions coming. That's really the goal of how we're trying to write it, and hopefully it's working out.
Now, is this an ongoing series, a limited series? What do you have planned for this?
We're gonna take this to 5 issues plus the prequel books that we've been dropping in. We did Hinagon. We have another one coming up here soon. We're gonna take this into arcs more than we're gonna do this as an ongoing series. Um, we have arcs planned out for the next while. We know where we're taking this, so it's exciting. But to commit to every month or something to that effect is, I don't think it's going to be good for the storytelling. Sorry, my dog's running down the stairs.
He's
So
fine. So you're
okay,
alternating titles with Homebrewed, so you're quarterly basically, right?
pretty much. Yeah, I think we have it down as periodically, quarterly, whatever it's written in the catalog. So
It says period. It just says periodical as
yeah, period.
format, but we don't
Okay,
we don't put the we didn't put how frequently it's coming out at this point. But my understanding is you guys are alternating titles through the three, so that would make
correct.
you quarterly. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's we have one issue coming out every month from Homebrewed, so it's pretty
right.
fantastic. Yeah.
And again, that's you guys putting on your business caps and you thinking. There's different ways to utilize distribution, and this helps you stay ahead of schedule. But yet, because it's home brewed, you guys are in everybody's hearts and minds every month in local comic shops. And I just want to remind everybody the power lies in the fan. If you really want something new, fresh, and exciting, tell your comic shop to order through Philbo and get these books. If for whatever reason your comic shop isn't able or interested in ordering through Philbo, reach out to me or the guys at Homebrewed, because we can set you up with a retailer that does work with us where you could get the books through them as well. Um, the industry, I don't know if really people understand this. It's starved for new, fresh ideas, and this is a perfect example of where you can go for that. So, um, tell your local shop you want it in your pull list. You want homebrewed in your monthly pull list because you want new, different, and exciting.
And
So,
that's something. Real quick, on that note, though, yeah, and we at Homebrew Comics, we have, four core titles right now. And, Caspian Porter, or if you're that Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Han Solo like character, tripping over his own 2 feet, making bad decisions along the way. And I want Homebrew Comics, exactly. Um, making bad decisions and tripping his way through the galaxy. It's like Han Solo meets Land of the Lost with a hint of the Bermuda Triangle thrown right in. Prehistoric Mars, crazy characters, a robot named Kirby. How can you go wrong? It's a great book, so y'all need to check that one out. Crit, like I mentioned before, homebrewed superhero D&D, the other guys, Guardians of the Galaxy. If you were into action comedies, this is the book for you. And it's so different because of that D&D superhero aspect. And then our cape, you got to have a cape. You got to have a cape. And we do with Celestial Knight. And Celestial Knight is just such an amazing book, Phil.
I
And
like the
I can't wait for
design.
this to come out. Yeah, when this comes out on distribution, guys, get ready to get your it's a slobber knocker. It really is. To quote Jim Ross, it is a slobber knocker. Kaiju's just tearing up New York City, with Celestial Knight, getting imbued with these amazing powers. All I can say is you got to have a cape. So it's great. And then we got the Little Bigfoot book. So how can you go wrong?
And
But
by the way,
every
the
single book.
the cover to what was it? The second catalog is Caspian Porter.
It is, yes, it really is. And it is, and that's a great cover with him getting chased by the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Can I show that real quick?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, let me do that. No, that's the wrong. Can you see my screen still?
Yeah, you're up there. You see you, right?
Hold on, I'm all screwed up. Okay, right. Okay, here, hold on. So,
There you go.
do
Yeah, right
there
there.
it is.
The third catalog,
Yeah,
the
yep.
August for November. Or no, sorry,
September
September.
for December.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very cool.
that's an awesome graphic. Thank you so much for putting that up there, because Caspian's awesome. Really fallen in love with that book. So
And that's the thing
it's
is you guys are
great.
different genres too. Homebrewed isn't just, you know, cookie cutter the same stuff. You've got sci-fi, you've got a kaiju, you've got martial arts, you've got Cthulhu demons, you've got crit with superpowers and superheroes, and you've got Celestial Knight where it's more, a little more cosmic-y kind of powers at the same time with
Hmm.
kaiju and stuff. So you guys touch on sci-fi and action and superhero and martial arts, and um, so that I like that you guys are very diverse in your different titles.
I think that's part of what makes this work, is that we're we have a nice mix of stuff to to choose from, and everybody's doing their own thing within their universes, except we did a coming up later on down the road for distribution will be we have the Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter book
Just
that
gonna
was
mention
finished not
that.
long ago. Yeah, it's so good. The first homebrewed
Successful campaign,
crossover.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
oh, that
are
was
all
great.
4 books in the same universe?
No, 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 no. So, and not as far as anybody told me. I haven't seen the memo on that yet, but as far as I know, that we're all doing our own thing still. I think that Bigfoot Knows Karate, definitely that world has its own vibe going, and Crit as well. But I think that it was a cool concept that Celestial Knight and Caspian Porter come together. I could see Crit jumping into that world too. I don't know. I don't know if I see the Bigfoot jumping in or not. That would be an interesting situation. What do you think, Phil?
I think someday down the road you do some sort of universal threat that maybe then he's not necessarily part of the universe, but he's brought into the
Sure.
story from another universe or something. That'd be kind of cool. See you all
There you
throw
go.
down against some big baddie.
Now, something that we're doing on our we did from our Kickstarter. We played around with the concept of doing. Remember Image Zero? Oh, so many years
Yep.
ago. I'm sure you've seen what we've done with this on social media. We are doing an anthology that you can get the coupons from our Kickstarters, and those are fulfilling this over this next month. And in your mail, you're going to get the coupons, and you can use that to get your copy of Homebrewed Zero. And that is an anthology that has all the different characters in the end, but it's not anthologized, so it's individual stories. But hey, that's the closest we've come. There's a neat cover with the artwork with everybody together, so that's pretty fun. That's a little unofficial crossover there too. Hey, Charles,
Very
how you
cool.
doing?
Yeah, real quick, Charles W. Morgan's campaign is still live with a few days left. Cold Cutter issue 5, which is the culmination of everything he's worked at in this story. If you love noir, it's awesome. Um, Charles is a good dude. He illustrated the whole thing, inked the whole thing. Great stuff. And you should check it out. Get it before the campaign ends, or I'll toilet paper your house. Anyway, um, so let's go
Absolutely.
into the catalog for Bigfoot Knows Karate issue 2.
Issue 2. Yes. Okay. Where am I? This one?
Yeah,
Okay. Do. It's in here.
should be.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. There's a lot of A's in the catalog, I've noticed.
You know why, right? Publishers know that
Well,
catalogs are alphabetized, and and they want to be upfront.
absolutely. Absolutely. We should have been Aardvark Entertainment. I keep thinking that to myself, just so we would have that double A together. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I like Homebrewed Comics. I like that title. There we
Well, the good
go.
news is I make it that you got to kind of go through the whole catalog to see everything. So
Yeah. So there you go. That's issue 2 right there.
we don't see it. You got to click. It's not up on the screen.
My Lord. Okay, here, hold on. So,
On the screen that you're sharing, you got to click on the catalog.
oh yeah, no, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna change my share real quick.
Okay.
Okay, here. Share screen.
Got to put that up there again.
How's that?
Perfect. That was our
Hey, look at this
rebranded
go.
catalog.
Love
Let me.
this. Oh,
You know, what's funny is this cover worked perfectly with the rebranding because like it was really all in silhouette and dark shadow. It really brought it out. I mean, like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. No, no, no. It's nice. I liked what y'all did with the rebrand of the catalog. It's really sharp looking. Um,
That's
yeah, and this
all
did.
Mora.
Well, Maura, thank you so much. She's incredible.
Yes, she is. She's
Yeah,
bread and butter of all this.
yeah, no, she's awesome. And so yeah, no, this is issue 2. Picks up right where we left off from issue 1. The Bigfoot's been captured, and by that nefarious cabal I mentioned earlier. And what's worse, to be completely alone in the, alone in the universe where nobody knows you and nobody cares, or to be completely locked, it'd be locked away and surrounded by enemies. And that's where our Bigfoot finds himself in issue 2.
Very cool. You had I had seen a piece of artwork. I don't remember who the artist was, but the line work was so like 90s style, tight, detailed. It was just incredible.
Was it a deluxe edition black and white piece?
Yes.
Okay. Can I try to take off my screen real quick? I
Sure, you
think
can
I have
share
it
it.
right above my
Absolutely.
shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, can you see
Hang
me?
on. We're
I can't.
let's try
There we
that.
are.
Let's do it that
Okay. Is
way.
it
Yeah, yeah,
is it
that's
this
it.
piece or
Yeah, it was a
yeah,
nice piece.
yeah, here
And look
there
at
you
that.
go.
That's fantastic. That's just an incredible piece. The eyes on
This
that, the Bigfoot, and then you got the yeah, that's just so good.
this is cool. So you want to know the story behind this? This was done by a gentleman named Adam Caswell. And Adam came to me. This is a piece of fan art, if you can
No
believe it.
kidding. Wow, that's
No
incredible.
kidding. So I'm just going to put it down here for now. I'll hang it up later. But that came as a piece of fan art. All right. So Adam, that came before Caswell goodness, absolutely. Adam came to me before the first book ever hit Kickstarter and sent me like work in progress of this and said, I really want to be a part of your, this in some way. I want to mail you this piece of fan art. I thought he was insane, because I mean, look at it. I mean, who who gives this away? That's incredible. That's.
That's
And
an
so I
insane
couldn't,
piece.
it's just beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So I did the honorable thing and I paid him and I put it on a cover because that's what you do in these situations when you get a
I'm
piece
with
of
you on
artwork
that.
like
Yeah,
this.
man.
Yeah. So we started working from there together. I mean, but before the first Kickstarter, we had received like 50 pieces of fan art, and it's almost 300 pieces at this point with people just sending pictures of Benny or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them. And it's been wild. That part of the fan art thing has just been wild. All the different versions, and
Is it
that
this
people have
gentleman
brought.
right here?
Uh, I can't tell well enough.
He has some
Here,
Bigfoot knows karate stuff on the
that would
page.
be him then. Yes,
Okay.
that would be him.
Very cool.
Yes. So anyway, and then so Adam came back for issue 2 and did a wraparound cover for that for the deluxe edition, and then chapter 3. Do I have it here? I actually colored him for chapter 3 on the cover from that. Here it is. And so that's a more of a kind of a Stephen Platt-esque piece,
Yeah,
because he
nice.
knows I'm a huge Stephen Platt fan, and so we had fun with that. But the other thing was that Adam actually ended up doing the interiors on Hinagon, and this came out incredible. So because we did the story in feudal Japan, and we wanted the art to look completely different from everything else, and so Adam came through like a monster in this book, just absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I see. He has several different pages. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful work. I
Yeah,
like what he's doing. Yeah, okay. I got him. Here he goes. Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, that was from an October 13th, day after my birthday that you launched that. Cool.
October 13th. Yeah, that's a day that will live in infamy. October 13th for me. That was I had that. I had that. The reason I can remember that day, because I had sign up in my bathroom. Like, remember in Rocky how he had picture up on the mirror, and every morning he'd look at it and he'd be like, hmm. And so I had the sign up in my bathroom that said October 13th launch day. And it sat there for months. And every morning I'd look at that thing and be like, okay, get ready. So I was just
Nice.
Rocky. Yeah, it's my Rocky thing.
How
So,
you doing, Phil? Thanks for coming in.
hey, Phil.
All right, it's my phone. Very cool. So the Bigfoot Knows Karate issue 2 is live right now in the catalog and available to be ordered. That's the October for January, right? So
Correct.
okay, so the FOC is what, December 1st. So we've got some time to order, but tell your LCS you want it. And you can reorder issue 1 as well. And I do have some consignment inventory at our warehouse. So you could order both. Why wait? Catch up. Say, hey, retailer, I want Philbo distribution books. I want Homebrewed comics. I want Crits 1 and 2. I want Bigfoot Knows Karate 1 and 2, and I want Caspian Porter number 1. All available. Let's go.
Yeah, and 2, because he was in the October issue as well.
Oh,
The
that's
ones that
right.
released in
Right. So
October. Yeah,
1 and
so
2. Yes. Sorry. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got books, we got options, folks. We got choices for you at Homebrewed. You go tell them you want Homebrewed comics. Tell them you need Philbo distribution. Make it happen. Make it rain.
Guys, just remember, we're in a we're in a time right now where pop culture is regurgitating the same stuff, and it's not even regurgitating it well. It's either sequels or remakes or prequels or whatever the case may be, or we've got parodies and homages of IPs that are already out there. Not disparaging anything else, but if you're looking to get away from all that and you just want something new and interesting and refreshing and gets you away from the real world for a little while, come to the distribution catalog. We have tons of great people, especially as we're talking tonight to Homebrewed Comics. So um, tell us why they want Bigfoot Knows Karate. Why do they want to tell the LCS?
Okay, it's a lot of what you just said. I mean, look, it's I know Batman. You know Batman. We all know Batman. You know Batman's story. You can change it as many different ways as you want and put him in different universes and make him absolute or whatever they're doing. That's awesome. Batman's great, but I don't need to write Batman because somebody else is already writing Batman. Why I need to write something that is and draw something that is completely new and unique because that's what's exciting for me. And I think that I'm not the only one out there who feels that way. There's a lot of people who are tired of the same old thing that really do want to see something new and unique in pop culture. And Bigfoot Knows Karate fills that void, and the cryptids, kaiju, creatures of lore, doing martial arts or going through portals and changing, going through different planes of existence and like philosophy and introspection, action adventure, psychological thriller, chock full of violence, but at the same time rooted in story. That's, it's not just the average story. That's what we're trying to bring to the table. All the rest of the homebrew guys feel the same way about their individual books, but we as a collective unit are trying to put something unique out there. And I don't think a lot of books do that, in the mainstream. And, it's corporate comics. What's gonna translate best to a movie, what's gonna translate best, because I don't even think they're interested in making money in the comics. It's just ancillary to the rest of the product that they can create from the comics. It's just the Bible that they need to keep the heartbeat going because the money is in other medium. We love comics, we all love comics, and we're bringing our best to the book, to the titles that we are making. That's, I mean, yeah.
Show us your shirt and the mark of greatness.
Oh yeah, sure. Hey everybody, check this out. Boom! The mark
There
of
you go.
greatness.
Nice logo.
Homebrew Comics. Oh yeah, dude. Who made this, Chris? This is a good logo. It's good stuff. Yeah, no, we got all the merch. Go to homebrewcomics.com. You can go pick up all the merch.
And why do they want Caspian Porter? Why do they want Crit? And why are they going to want Celestial Knight?
Okay. Why do you want these titles? Okay, again, a unique spin on the things that we love. I mean, with Crit, if you whether you like D&D or you don't like D&D, it doesn't really matter because it's just a damn good story coming through the door. Okay. I mean, like I loved the movie The Other Guys. Okay. Remember that scene where they're like just jumping and off the building and everybody's flying down and you can hear the music. There goes my hero. Now imagine that in a comic. Okay. Imagine like somebody's spitting lyrics as you're falling and shooting. That's Crit. That's the kind of genuine humor that you can find in an action comedy. Really good stuff. And again, you don't see that in Marvel or DC. They're not doing that. Yeah, Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, rock on. But there's so much more that you can do with storytelling. And I think Crit really hits that. Caspian Porter, okay, here's why I love Caspian Porter. I am a Flash Gordon fan. I'm a huge I'm a huge nerd for like old serials and stuff like that. And so this kind of hits that vibe, but it's also got like hello everyone, how you doing?
Why you
Um
adding names, Angel? Jesus, you got enough? Anyway, sorry.
yeah, no worries. Um so okay, so Caspian, back to that. So that Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon vibe, that Han Solo vibe. Okay, so you've got that, and where Han Solo is just making mistakes. He's making mistakes, and he's always able to figure it out. Well, Caspian takes that to a whole new level, and just have you read the book? Have you read the book? Yeah,
Yep.
it's great stuff. Okay, I mean, it
Yes, it
starts off
is.
with the guy making, playing cards, ending up in bed with a woman who ends up being the wife of the owner of this
Right.
galactic corporation. So what does he do? He's on the run. Where does he end up? Prehistoric Mars. I didn't see that coming, Phil. I didn't see that coming. And
I
he's
know.
such
That's
a
why I'm
pig.
enjoying them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and he's got such a pig attitude at the same time, but he's funny at the same time. And he grows. The character grows as he's going. So yeah, no, for me, Caspian's a win. All right, and then why they will want the Celestial Knight? Okay, you ever seen Pacific Rim? Okay, now if you took Pacific Rim and Rom the Space Knight and the Wu Tang Clan and put that and spun that all together, that's what we're talking about with Celestial Knight. I love. Okay, Dennis is an artist. Okay, I love to draw. Okay, and I enjoy making my book, and I put everything into the artwork that I can for Bigfoot Knows Karate. Dennis is an artist. Okay, he just looking at the fight scenes alone it'll just grab your eye, and he's just got that 90s sensibility, but but modern and refined.
Right.
And it's incredible, and there's a lot of story to get into, but I'll tell you what, you just get lost in the artwork in that book. And you can't say that about a lot of indie comics. I mean, you can, but you can't. I mean, he takes it up a notch. So those are my big sales pitches for those books. I hope I did okay. Sorry guys if I didn't. Come on now, but I did
Yeah,
my
I'm
best.
looking forward to Celestial is the only one I didn't read,
I am
obviously, and I'm looking
too.
forward to it.
Yeah, no, I've got I mean, I don't know. I was just with all the guys 2 weeks ago. All of us were
At the
together in
show,
North
yes.
Carolina Comic Con. Yeah, and it was fun getting to hang out with everyone and watching everybody pitch each other's books. That was a lot of fun. And really trying to we always take the attitude of it's not just my book, it's not just your book, it's all of our books, and we all take ownership of that. We all try and push each other's stuff, and that camaraderie that we've built up over direct message, as it coming to fruition of hanging out in reality. It's great. Oh, thank you very much, Dennis.
Now, what do we have coming up for crowdfunding for Homebrewed? Because they don't just go through distribution, they also give you some great stuff on crowdfunding.
Okay, so get ready for a couple of things in the new year. So we're going to be doing, for me, I've got Bigfoot Knows Karate God Killer going to be coming up here very soon. And chapter 4, both of those books will be happening in the new year for sure. And then I know there is some other plans for Crit, and then I can't say too much. There's a couple things that we have in the works that I can't really get into yet. I'd
Okay.
love to, but mum's the word at this moment in time, so bear with us because there will be more information coming to all.
And where's the best place to get info to know when the next campaign's launching and where they can get your
Ah,
book?
that you can definitely go to homebrewedcomics.com. You can also go to at homebrewedcomics on Instagram. That is our kind of a home base for so much. Got so much in the pipeline. Yes, we do, Chris. Yes, 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 we do. But yeah, check us out on Instagram at homebrewed comics. Check us out at homebrewedcomics.com. Both of those places are good. Sign up for our newsletter. Okay, do sign up for the newsletter on our website. That's a great way to keep up with all the information that happens at Homebrewed. That'll keep you up to date, not only on Kickstarters, distribution at the retail level, as well as what we're doing on exclusive covers and crazy stuff like that on whatnot.com. So, which you can find us on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. or no 8 p.m. Central, and there we do the remarks and the limited covers, things like that. And you find us on and whatnot at Homebrewed AF. So
And are there any shows coming up that we can find you or Chris or the rest of the crew, Drew and them?
I just finished my last one this past weekend for the year. So my next one won't be until February. And I will be at the Choctaw Casino in Oklahoma and at the Texoma Con. It's just about an hour north of Texas, and so that'll be a fun convention. And then I'm going to be doing a small convention for. This was interesting. A small convention in Waco, Texas, for their high school program that brings in artists and stuff to come and talk with students and people of that nature. And then, they have, a show floor as well. So I'll be doing two panels at that event. And
Cool.
then, look for me at Baltimore, Terrificon, definitely Bedrock City Comic
Oh, you'll be
Con.
at Terrificon? I'll get to meet you in
Yeah,
person.
yes, no, my friend Mike got me the application. We're all hoping to be at Terrificon together at
Good
the
show.
unit
Good.
this
I'll get to
year.
meet you guys.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And then got the application into WonderCon, fingers crossed. And then some Texas shows for sure.
Hey, Chris, drop the link to your website for Homebrewed in the chat. And if you or the other guys have any other um, shows coming up towards the end of this year that you want people to know about, please feel free to put it in the chat. Let everybody know. You could drop anything you want in that chat right now. Um, I'm excited for you guys. I really I I have something in the works with the distribution that could be very big, a game changer. Um, very, very big, which would just benefit all of you in a great way. And I'm waiting for it to be solidified, contractually, etc. But big things are coming for Philbo distribution. Um, there are people that thankfully are taking us very seriously, and all the retailers that we have signed up, and we're international, and Bleeding Cool and Comics Beat, and they've thank you to them for putting us in as top distributors, and we're being taken seriously, and we are very fair across the board, where we're there to help publishers, not just take money from them. And we're also there for retailers to make money with new and different titles. But this game changer will do a lot to change terms and make things even more enticing to retailers, as well as benefit publishers. And I'm really excited for it, and I can't wait to make the official announcement, which will be big. It'll be a press release. But what I will say is this:
Nice.
we're pissing off the right people, and we are getting support from the right people as well. And this is growing. And in 4 months, we have grown 500% in sales,
It's
overall
incredible.
sales. And I keep plugging away. I keep working behind the scenes For those of you know me, as much as I'm a big mouth, I'm a doer and I'm a worker and I'm a grinder and I'm straight up going to keep fighting. And this is going to be we are going to be a comic book household name before you know it, and we are going to keep working at that. And that includes all the publishers that have put their trust in me to help them get it across the world in stores. I take that very seriously, and this is a journey. It's what I told you guys. It's a journey, and I don't know if it was gonna start slow or fast or medium, but it's going to grow, and this is going to be great. And I think right now there is a big void in the industry that we are filling, and we're just going to continue to fill and fill and fill, no pun intended. Um, and working with great people like you guys at Homebrewed who care about the comics industry, have a passion for storytelling first, but also understand the business side and the hustle that's required. Um, you guys are exactly what this is about. I mean, I'm serious. I think I've said this to you privately. When I started distribution, it wasn't just to get my books out there. It was to give a voice to the little guys that aren't getting a shot, that deserve a shot. And you guys are the epitome of what that vision and goal is, and I think you guys are taking full advantage of it as best as you could, which is a wonderful thing. And I really think it's just you guys on your way to success. Just keep plugging away, just stay strong, keep your focus on the mission, and we will do this together and we will get there. And I look forward to the day where we all get to meet up at a show where we were the attraction and we get to break bread and say, we fucking did it.
I love this. Dude, Phil, thank you so much for everything you're doing for all of us.
Yeah,
Because I mean, seriously,
I I honestly I don't this isn't about me getting accolades or thanks. I haven't done anything yet in my opinion. I'm always told that I need to enjoy the victories and I don't, but because I haven't gotten there yet. And until I can get there and bring enough people with me, um there's no celebration to be had. There's just hunger.
all
I'm
right. Well, yeah,
fucking hungry.
can't argue with that. Can't. Well, here, fist bump. There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
And
no, man.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So they've cleared their schedule because they're working behind the scenes to bring out some great content for 2026. Jeffrey says you guys are exploding. Yeah, I just think you guys have the right heads on your shoulders. And I love that you guys have that attitude of rising tides. And you guys
Oh yeah.
you're working together. You all take on your tasks and roles in the company, and you work together. And there's a camaraderie, and there's it's something that the rest of the industry should really admire and pay attention to. Um, because we're not each other's competition. We're our brothers in arms. Your success can
Right.
be my success. The healthier the industry is, meaning the more successful publishers
Right.
there are, the better for everyone.
We all came from Instagram. That's how we all met each other. And, the Instagram indie comic community is very, very supportive of each other. I mean, most everybody you meet on there is there to, help guide each other and help each other out and answer questions and all of that. And I think that that's kind of the attitude we brought in when we came together. It's just we just want the best for ourselves, for the whole team, and for everybody in Indy. Because again, yeah, my success, your success, it's a success for all of us. And that's how we've gotten, you know, that's how keeping that mindset really does help the way you look at the industry. Because if you're looking at everybody as competition, it's going to get angry and nasty and pissy fast. And who the hell needs that in their lives? I don't.
And
I
then
don't
your
need that.
focus is on the wrong thing. If you're
No
focusing on
shit. Oh
trashing the
yeah.
other guy. You're not focused on doing anything for the industry. It's for the
No,
health of everybody.
when I was in comics years ago, like I did like three different titles, and all this stuff. And I had some bad experiences. I got, somebody ganked a script and used it under their own title, under their own name. I had somebody, not pay me. I had this, that, the other, all this bullshit. And when I came back to it in 2020 and said, okay, I'm going to make another comic, my wife said, she encouraged me to do this, but she said to me, only do it if you're having fun. And that has been my motto ever since. And just don't let the small shit, upset you. Don't, you're majoring in the minors. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to major in the minors. I want to pay attention and on the, focus on the goal. And that is, that's how we all take it at Homebrewed. Very much so.
I like that. Major in the minors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to major in the minors either. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want fame. I don't want fortune. I just want to be able to do what I love for a living, and that's create stories and put them out there and help the industry as best as I can. Um, that's it. Or like you said, man, it's
Yeah.
just enjoy what you and love what you do and give it 1,000%.
Oh, it's aside from my family, it's what I love. I
And you
mean,
guys
I've
seem to
been
genuinely like each other, which is obviously is chemistry. You're like
well,
that rock
Homebird or my
band
family in both ways,
Homer.
yes, but
Well, I mean, like if you look at like I'm a big Rush fan, and what was the success to Rush? The fact that they loved each other and they took care of each other and they were friends. There was no ego. There was no me, me,
sure,
me. It was us, us, us. And I see that in you guys. You're that rock band that has longevity because you all put ego aside and it's about the mission and it's about all of you doing what you need to do as a collective for the common goal. And that's where success lies. Your energy is not wasted in the wrong areas, and I commend you on that.
I appreciate that. But my big takeaway from this, you just said, was that you're a Rush fan, and I love hearing that because
Huge
Rush
Rush fan.
fans
I'm a
rock.
drummer too. I
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to do Rush
Are you
cover band.
really?
I was in a Rush cover band. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. They're touring.
I couldn't afford the tickets. I was so
I
disappointed.
know somebody who ended up dropping like a couple of grand on tickets. I was like, wow.
I mean,
I
good for
love Rush,
them.
but come on.
Good for
Yeah, me
them, but
too. Yeah,
yeah,
I
come
couldn't
on,
do
man.
it.
You're
No, I
fans.
couldn't do
You're
it.
fans. You're fans. But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I get it though. I got it completely. But no, it's a great band. No, we really do just try and work as a unit. It's what Casey and I, when we're working on the book, it's like, ego aside, what's best for the book. And the same thing goes with, Homebrewed. What's the best thing for the band, for the brand? What's the best thing for the group? How is this going to make us as a group move forward?
Right.
And yeah, so I mean, it's nice to be with like-minded people who are business focused, you know what I mean, and get what we're trying to do. And it's not, we don't, we have a DM, right, that we're all in, and we're constantly messaging with each other, but we're not sending like memes or gifs or things like that. It's just what needs to be said. It's no bullshit, and I
Right.
really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Well, I look forward to the future with you guys. And
As
even
do
if you
we.
ever moved on and you were able to get into Luna or whatever, I still obviously I want you guys to do well. I want you to succeed, and I look forward to seeing you guys continue to grow and continue to get out there and continue to kick ass. Um, and I will see you in catalogs every month, and so will all the fans.
Let's do it.
What's the next book coming to us? Do you know?
From Homebrewed, I want to say Crit 3. Chris, if you're in the room, double correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it's Crit 3.
And by the way, Dennis not introduced me because I knew them, but he kind of helped me get on that comics industry show. So thank you to him, which was big because they're very intelligent comic store owners who have the right mindset, and they're very supportive of Philbo, and I do appreciate them as well. And they have a really good, knowledgeable show, so you should check that out. Crit 3 is going to launch in our catalog soon. Right now, Bigfoot Knows Karate issue 2 is available for order. FOC is December 1st. We also have, uh, is it Caspian 2 live in the catalog too? Because 2
Yes,
overlap.
Caspian
Yes, so it's
2 was the
Caspian. But
yes.
again, everything is available in reorder. We have back stock, we have consignment inventory, everything's available in reorder. If you want the first 2 issues of all 3 titles, you can get your LCS to order them right now and have them in your pull list, um, as they release. We release each month, but the latest one's going to be for January release. Bigfoot Knows Karate. So, um, tell your store. There's no reason not to. Give them a shot. We waste money on pot and cigarettes and alcohol and whatever else and
Hey,
gambling. Take
gambling. Yes.
take $6 and invest in a new story that may be that new thing you're excited about, every month. You never know what is really going to connect with you and bring you some joy in this really tough life. So for $6, it's a small investment, guys, and you might just really find that new story that you're like, holy hell! Like nobody knew Star Wars at first, right? And then 1977, it blew our friggin' minds. Well, there are some comics out there that might just blow your mind.
Absolutely. I mean, I like Star Wars. Who doesn't like Star Wars? You could be you in that book somewhere in Philbo distribution, you may find the next Star Wars,
Right?
so go find it.
I agree. Well, man, it was
Yeah.
good to have you on. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me, man. Appreciate it. Had a good time.
Yeah, anytime, any of you guys can come on. All of you, all 4 of you, any one of you, feel free to come on. You can come on
Oh,
as a group,
awesome.
as the entire again.
Oh,
So
great,
everything
man.
starts somewhere, exactly. Can retailers see the back issues available on particular title in the new catalog? Not in the new catalog, but if you go to the prior catalogs, you can get all of the issues. And Daniel Alvin he is one of the retailers that orders through us, and I was just talking to him yesterday. Very really great guy, great store. Shout out the store in the chat, Daniel. Please feel free. Really supportive of indie, want to work with us. They're very kind, very patient. Even when we have a little bumps in the road being new, they've been very cool with us, and we really appreciate retailers like Daniel's store.
Thank
But
you,
yeah, if you
Daniel.
go to the prior catalogs, you can order any prior issues there as well. We are looking to move to a better website that will be a little more user friendly. But right now, this is the best way to compartmentalize and keep everything together so you can find your back issues and it's not this crazy, list of, because believe it or not, little old Philbo has over 70 publishers and we have over 100, easily 100 and something books in the catalog. So um, we wanted to keep it compartmentalized so it's not so overwhelming that you have thousands of titles to try to fight through. But we're going to work on a search engine as well. Anyway, before we go, I want to let everybody know that this Saturday I will be at Huracan. It's a charity convention for the church over in Rockaway, run by David Donovan. I will be there selling a tragedy issue 1 and 2, which released November 12th, as well as all my other Philbo titles. We have Diary of Dread, Papa, Shaman, Arcane Syndicate, Withered, Dynamics, Devils in the Details. So we got a lot of stuff. I also let you know we fulfilled Madcaps 2 from a DM Ray from Canada. That's out. I am in the middle of fulfilling Vanilla Land from Andrew Henry in Egypt. We have Kickstarters coming up this coming year. We'll get into later. And I just want to let you know I'm going to be at a store in Connecticut on Black Friday. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to have all my titles available. And we're going to be showcasing titles like Homebrewed books to show you those books so that you can say, oh, I want that. I'm going to be bringing your books with me as well as a bunch of others, not to sell, but to showcase and say, this is what's in the catalog. Go check it out. And I'm going to have the catalog there for people to check out. It's a store that does order through us, and a very large store in Connecticut. I'd have to look up the name. I don't remember at the moment. But so there's that. And then, of course, each catalog every month. We're going strong, excited. 2026 is bringing some great stuff. Again, we have some great opportunities coming up for Philbo distribution, Philbo publishing, and which will benefit everybody. Anyway, that's about it, fellas, ladies. Next week we have Terry Moore, who is the creator of Strangers in Paradise. We had to reschedule from last week, but he will be on next week before the Thanksgiving holiday. What a treat! And just remember, we have Homebrewed Comics. We have Zenoscope, Antarctic Press, Heavy Metal, Devil's Due, Terry Moore with Abstract Studios. We have Nexus from Mike Barron and Steve Rude. We have Billy Tucci, who created Comics She. We have Marat Michaels, Pray for the Sinner. So we've got those strong, well-known independent people, and then we've got those independents that if you don't know yet, you are going to know, like Homebrewed Comics. So we're excited. The sky's the limit, guys, and we are reaching. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.